All right, what's good, everybody? You're here with the boy TStomp. We are out here with the Hip Hop Dissolved podcast. This is actually the first episode, so if you're actually listening to this, you are a real one. And of course, I couldn't do this without my co-host Martian. Man, say what's up.
What's up, y'all? Y'all ready for this?
Exactly, you know what I mean. Your boy, Mr. TStomp, out here from the West Indies, and we got Martian out here from the sixth.
Canada. It's excited.
But yeah.
You know how it go?
Regardless, man. So of course, you didn't come here to see us, introduce ourselves for too long. So of course, we gotta hop into these topics. And of course, the first thing we gotta talk about is the fact that Alabama rapper Money Man has sold 19,000 in his first week. Is this an L or a W?
Well, let me stop you right there. It wasn't actually his first week. That was his deluxe's first week sales, right?
Wait, what do you mean? Did he do?
It was his deluxe mixtape. Like he dropped the mixtape in March and he dropped the deluxe now.
But
ain't
the deluxe have a heap of songs though?
Yeah, he had like 10 songs on top of the original 10, and he added Lil Baby to 24.
Yeah,
right?
because I know 24 was an older song.
Yeah. No, the whole tape, the second half of the tape is all old songs that were out in like March, right? And then he just added another 10 and then added Lil Baby to 24 and put it out there. Epidemic Deluxe is what dropped recently.
Yeah.
The Deluxe is 20 songs. The original tape was 8. So he added like 12 songs plus a Lil Baby feature. And put it back out. And honestly, bro, like, I didn't like the only reason I found out about Money Man is because he had that whole shit go down with Cash Money and Birdman and stuff. Like in, I think 2017, he had a whole lawsuit with them, and he got off independently, I believe. I wasn't really listening to the mixtape before the deluxe came out. I heard 24s, but I really listened to it when Lil Baby got on it. I'm not really much of a fan of that song, but the whole tape in general I think is good. And I think 19K for a deluxe, man, is decent. Like Wayne's Funeral Deluxe did like 12K. Fucking G Herbo's Deluxe did like 28K. He's right in the middle of those two. You know what I mean?
Actually, now that you put it in perspective with the Wayne thing and how Wayne's Deluxe did 12, that is actually a very good point. And the thing,
granted, Wayne is on the weaker side of sales this year. Let's be honest.
I know, but Money Man versus even 2020 Wayne, I think we could both agree.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. And compare it to even like G Herbo, who's pretty hot right now. He did, I think, like 28K with his deluxe, right? And his deluxe had an Uzi feature on it, on top of the original Uzi features tape. Had all Money Man really had was Lil Baby, as far as I know.
Exactly. And my spiel with Money Man is this: I'm also a newer Money Man fan. I actually found out about him because a friend of mine who was actually from Alabama as well was, an OG fan. He was like, "Oh, you don't listen to Money Man?" And I was like, "Nah, I never heard of him." And this was a couple months ago. And here's my thing about Money Man. Money Man is a very, very big artist, in the South.
Locally,
exactly.
Yeah.
Even if, I think even until recently, if you went to even Atlanta, people would be like, "Who's Money Man?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for somebody of, in his position, to move 19K first week was, pretty good. And another thing is, say you're one of these folks that you're not, a regional fan of Money Man. You're not from the Midwest. You're not from the, that part of the South. You don't know too much about him. Well, even there, like when he signed that Cash Money thing and, the whole Cash Money didn't work out and, he went to the wayside. If you were an OG fan and you were just maybe someone who was watching from a distance, a lot of people saw that move and were like, "Oh, this is gonna be yet another artist from Young Money or Cash Money who maybe he carried some weed or something like that, but he ain't gonna have a career after this,
But he definitely got out of it before the whole curse kid hit him.
And let's be honest. How often do we see an artist go up after leaving Cash Money? You know what I mean?
Like they usually suck the life out of you and then dump you to the side.
It's almost as bad.
Shout out, baby.
It's almost as bad as the Kardashian cursed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, like the only artist I can genuinely think of, like even Drake, like his next album, I'm sure it'll do numbers, but it's not gonna do Scorpion or Views numbers. You know, like every artist gives their prime to Cash Money. The only one I could really maybe think of is Tyga with Taste. You know, like that's a one-off type situation. Like most of these artists, they give their prime to CMB, like Juvenile, even BG, right? And then they just when they come out after Cash Money, it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And I actually saw like an old Instagram live of Money Man, kind of summing up why he signed, and he said part of the reason he went to Cash Money was in his brain he was like, oh, I might be able to get a Drake feature, a Wayne feature, a Nicki feature, but I don't think any of that happened at all.
No, definitely not, because like the whole like I don't know, man. He might get a Gutta feature. He might get a NLE chop. I don't even know if NLE's on paper with him, but I know we've seen him in videos with Birdman. So I don't know, but yeah. I don't know. It's not what it seems like. What did Wayne say on Fireman? Cash Money Records where dreams come true. That's not true. You know what I mean? Like from what we see, from what artists say, yeah, there's a few that are successful, a few that are very, very, very successful. But for every one that's very successful, there's 5 that you've never heard of.
So, exactly, and then it also comes down to like how much initiative does the artist have? Are you actually gonna hit the studio and elevate your skills up, or are you just gonna show up and try and be a weed carrier? You know?
No, 100%. And Cash Money doesn't really like I remember like one thing I remember from like the early 2009 2010 era is like all the artists they interviewed said Cash Money gives you a lot of freedom to do whatever you want, right? And it sounds like a good thing, but like the thing is, it's because they don't care. You know, if you get hot, you get hot, and you get pushed. If not, your album never comes out.
Exactly. So, like, it doesn't seem like Birdman is the type of guy who's going to sit down and beg you to be successful. It's like...
or like work with you to develop your music or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, too much freedom, I feel like, is a bad thing. Like you know how you hear about Atlantic Records and what they do with their artists, where they force them to make a certain type of song? Obviously, that's too much, like, from the label, but... I feel like a label should, if I'm signing to a label, beyond like the money support, like I want to get feedback on like how to make my music better, how to appeal to more people without like completely changing my sound, like they kind of tried to do to Lupe Fiasco. But yeah, you get what I'm saying?
And I feel like, you know, just as a hip hop fan over the last few years, I think it's gotten very obvious that most of the major labels, I'm talking about the Sony, the Warner Brothers, those guys, they don't really know what's hot at all. You see like you see the chairs of these like people who are like responsible for the business, and these are like older white folks that
they don't really much listen to hip hop or nothing either. They try to create like formulas and stuff to figure out what's like popping or whatever, but you can't really do that. You know what I mean? Because honestly, like you don't know what's gonna be hot, what's gonna you know, you remember that Plies song that was hot like 3 years ago? Ran off on the plug twice.
Yeah.
That was just off a meme. You know what I mean? But no one can predict that. No formula is gonna tell you, okay, this Plies song is gonna be the one. You know, and Plies before that, Plies hadn't had a hit in like what 8-10 years. Like you know, I hadn't heard of Plies since 2011 when he did that Welcome to My Hood, and then this shit came out.
Wasn't Plies like a 2007 double XL freshman?
Yeah. No, like his hottest year was probably 2008 or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, Plies has some hits, man. But with that aside, I think, you know, with the label talk, I think we can kind of transition to our next topic because it kind of has to do with it. And that is, did Popcaan miss his chance to gain mainstream success? I tried to do the weird Jamaican accent with his name, y'all. I apologize. It ain't no cultural appropriation. I'm West Indian, so I can say what I want before Twitter come at me. Regardless, did Popcaan miss his chance to gain mainstream success? Because on the Fixtape, he had 2 Drake features and he also had Party. What's your thoughts on it?
And to put it in perspective, it sold 686 first week, 686 copies. Like that's the whole number in the US. I don't know, to be honest. Like the thing with it, bro, is like that kind of music, like in where I am in Canada, that like the Fixtape was everywhere. We were just bumping that everywhere, right? But I don't think it's really broken into the US, has it? Okay. Like I know you're in the US, has it?
Yeah. So
it's
where I'm at in Florida. No. Okay. Like you go to these white kids, they don't know. You know, they don't know crap about Popcaan. I'm being honest. But US, it has its hub cities where it can work. You know, the Miami, the Houston, the New York. But it wasn't that big out of there. But the reason I kind of feel like he did, you know, miss a big chance, and yes, you can go with the, well, he doesn't want to be mainstream, or what
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
just, if people say that, you're just guessing that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Every artist
Exactly,
doesn't
and
mind a taste
yeah,
of success,
yeah, exactly.
and it's just
Popcorn's
that
been in this for years too. Like,
exactly.
but yeah.
Yeah, I've been exactly. But the thing is that it just feels like I'm pretty sure Popcorn even signed to OVO. Like if you look at this Fixtape, it says it's released under
Yeah,
OVO or whatever.
I'm pretty
And
sure he's on paper with them. Yep.
but the thing is that Drake is a guy he's a certified formula hit maker. He can make a hit. Party can do it too. And then on top of that, he's signed to OVO, and Drake is familiar with the reggae dancehall and all of that. And it's just very disappointing because I thought Drake could make something commercial for Popcaan. You know what I mean? It's like a gift.
I feel that, but at the same time, it has to be the right time for that sound. Like, you know how right now, not right now, but like a few years ago, maybe like a year ago, like Spanish music was really popping. I think it still is, to be honest. Like Spanish music was the thing. And right now, like UK drill is really influencing like Brooklyn drill. You know what I mean? Like each sound has its time where it influences the US, right? And I think reggae did have its time, like in 2003 when like Sean Paul and stuff was out.
Sean Paul, Shaggy.
Yeah, that era. And I feel like the sound itself has to make a comeback before Popcaan can really break. You know what I mean?
And I think part of it has to do with the fact that, you need to water down what you do. Like people can be mad at me for it's the truth. Like if you want to take dancehall and make it pop it in the US market, you gotta water the stuff down. And Drake was a king at doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of Popcorn, I didn't think Fixtape was watered down at all. It was authentic dancehall music. So I feel like, I don't know, I just felt like Party and Drake, if they could have helped Popcorn do that just for like one song. They could have had the album the same, just one song like that. It would have been dope. So that was kind of my disappointment. And then if I'm going to be honest, I didn't even think those Drake songs were that great.
I like Twist and Turn. I play that a lot. I don't really listen to the other one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But beyond just the Fixtape, I feel like if Drake, not to put everything in Drake's hands, like, oh, Drake has to make a pop, but I feel like if Drake did put Popcaan on Controller, right? Like, we all know there's a leaked version of Controller that came out, like, maybe a few months before Views did, and it had Popcaan doing, like, 2 verses on it, right?
Correct, yeah.
And from what I heard, I believe there was, like, an interview or something, and they said that Popcaan set the vocals in the wrong format or something, and that's why they couldn't put it on the album version, right? But I feel like if Popcaan was on the album version of Controller, I feel like that would have changed his career trajectory a lot, because that's Drake's most successful album. Like, that shit sold 1 million first week. It like 14 songs on that album is at least platinum. Like, the single songs are platinum. 14 songs on that album are platinum or plus. You know what I mean? So I feel like that would have really helped him if the Controller version that Popcaan was on came out commercially. And even in Toronto, like last year at OVO Fest, he brought out Popcaan and they did that song live, Controller with Popcaan. And that's just a leak. Like, it's just on YouTube and SoundCloud and stuff, but people knew that word for word.
Exactly.
You know? So it did its wave. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was out here talking about smoke a spliff, all that. He had good verses.
Yeah. And I feel like that could have really changed his career trajectory in 2016. So when he dropped Fixtape in 2020, people already kind of knew about him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I was just surprised. Like, I thought, 2 Drake features could move him into, 3,000 units. I'm not saying he even had to sell 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You got to be, realistic for dancehall in America. But I thought, 2 Drake features alone could move it to 3K.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, he flopped so super hard."
Oh, no.
At the end of the day, it's like, bro, it's not. This isn't even his market.
Exactly.
I definitely think it could have been better.
I'm kind of interested in seeing what the numbers were for like Canada, the UK, probably parts of Africa.
Definitely. I don't know where to find those numbers, unfortunately, but it would be interesting to see that. Yeah.
So a new, I guess you could say, complete turn of events, shifting away from the artists. We got to come at these large corporations, right? And we got to talk about, man, did MTV fall off and do the VMAs matter in 2020?
I don't think so. Honestly, bro, like the only time I watch TV, I can't speak for everyone, is to watch the NBA freaking playoffs. And even when I do that, I stream it. Like I don't like watch it on a channel or anything. I don't think anyone really watches MTV for their like music consumption anymore. You know what I mean? Because everything's so easily accessible on YouTube and stuff. And I believe they gave Megan Thee Stallion an award for a visualizer. That's what Twitter was saying, right? It wasn't a music video; it was just a visualizer. And
Wow. Oh, I didn't see
yeah,
that, but if they did, yikes.
and it wasn't technically a video award, but it is the video music award. So you'd assume that any winner has a video. You know what I mean? And I just think that just shows how out of touch they are, and how like I don't think MTV matters anymore. I don't think even BET matters anymore. No one really watch. Even the Grammys are every year they lose less and less relevance. Since Macklemore got the Grammy
Oh
over
man.
Kendrick Lamar, it's been downhill ever since. Every year, the internet picks apart something they picked wrong. Ever since that happened. So I think it's done for those TV award shows. Who really cares? Only thing rappers care about now is going platinum, stuff like that.
Yeah, platinum, double XL. That's it.
And Billboard, and
Yeah.
they bring up their Apple Music numbers, even though that doesn't really mean anything because any album released will go number one in the first few hours.
Oh yeah, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm number one on iTunes.
Yeah,
but it's like,
bro, of
you
course
be
you're
gone
gonna
tomorrow.
be number one. Yeah, exactly. Not even tomorrow, in the next couple of hours, because like 3 different albums drop that day. Every day there's like 3 albums dropping every week, right? So another album will take over in 3 hours. But,
yeah, that's always
that's
funny
such
to
a
me.
fake flex. I hate that shit, bro. Like, talk to me when you're number one. Even number one on Billboard is kind of like iffy because it's like, if you drop on a week where there isn't much activity, you can go number one with like 40K. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not really that big of a flex. Like, show me your sales numbers, But whatever.
But before I crack at the whole VMAs, just MTV in general, I feel like MTV could still be going, but this is a company that in my eyes just completely dropped the ball. Because when I was a kid, yes, don't get me wrong, yes, of course, obviously TV consumption was way up. I was still watching TV for entertainment. But MTV was like one of the very few places you could go to for reliable music related content. You know what I mean? They had the cribs, they would have the interviews, they would have the artists come on the shows. You know what I mean? But it feels like as early as I want to say 2011, they started just doing these bullshit shows. The Teen Mom, the 16 and Pregnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the very last thing I remember, like watching on MTV was Wayne's. I think it was MTV. Wayne's Carter 4. Like the day before Carter 4 came out, they had an award show, and Wayne closed out the award show by performing 2 songs off Carter 4, and then the album dropped right after the award show ended. Right? That was the last time I remember like actually staying up and watching MTV. Like since then, like I don't watch it, and honestly, I don't like. I know you're saying, oh, they have this like content that isn't really music related now.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're really going to show. What can they really show now that people don't put on Instagram? Like if they did a cribs in 2020, like these rappers be on Instagram live in their cribs all day anyway. You know what I mean? So what are they really going to show? Like what is there that MTV can provide that isn't already on Instagram or YouTube?
But what I'm saying is I feel like they could have transitioned into that Instagram, YouTube era. Because if you ask me, if I want to be honest, No Jumper replaced MTV. To be honest.
Yeah, No Jumper is very.
It's like the closest thing.
Yeah. No Jumper is really running the whole like interviewing rappers type scene right now. Like that's the only one I really watch. So,
exactly.
and the stuff he branches out to is, it like that he had that girl on that like sucked off like 7 players on the Phoenix Suns. Like bro, but like that's like it's good content. I can't lie. I sat there. I watched the whole interview. What I mean? Like,
with Selena Powell and her friend, right?
Yeah. Like I was like, yo, this is pretty. Like it's like a situation where it's like, how did you get to the point where you can suck off like 7 players? It's very like I'm curious, bro. Like I want to watch that. Whereas Teen Mom, like I can go into my own neighborhood and I can see Teen Mom. You know what I mean? Like, it's not every day you see a girl that sucked off 7 NBA players back to back to back. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, like content is definitely a killer.
It's just a shame too because to get watched by random blogs and YouTube channels is a major network with millions and millions and millions of dollars. And keep on, MTV already has relationships with all these artists and labels. They can get an artist for an interview whenever they want. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that. Like, I feel like a lot of these newer rappers, I don't think they'd really care about MTV. You know what I mean?
I guess. I was
Like if
thinking
they
maybe
hit
they
up,
could
like,
pull the nostalgia card.
yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know. They'd definitely be able to pull like older rappers, but like I don't think getting like Jeezy or Ti on
Oh
the show
no.
would really help anything. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
I'm saying like, all right,
yeah.
take
No,
some.
no disrespect to Jeezy and Ti, they're legends, but
Yeah.
just saying, yeah. But yeah, just in case, we're just starting out. I don't want Jeezy and Ti to blackball us already. I gotta let that go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um. All right, so like, but okay, here's the thing, right? Like, for example, you look
Mm,
at some like Everyday Struggle and how complex has the show. MTV should
mm,
have been got academics, or when Joe Budden left, they should have cut a bag for Joe Budden. You know what I mean? Like stuff
mm-hmm.
like that. But instead,
Stuff
it's
like
like,
that, definitely.
come
Yeah.
on now. You think today's youth care about Rob Dyrdek? I love Rob, but come on.
Yeah, yeah. That no, 100%. Like the whole everyday struggle thing definitely would have been great on MTV. That would have been
Exactly.
great. Yeah.
All right, so speaking of MTV and how they're rocking with the old rappers, I think we should talk about a new rapper, man. A new rapper
Mm-hmm.
that he's transformed and he's done some incredible things, man. And that
Mm-hmm.
is Lil Durk. And I just want to talk about the
Dirk.
growth of Durk over like
Yeah,
the
that
last
shit's
5
crazy.
years, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like for like the first time I heard Dirk was L's Anthem. Which was 2012, 2013. French
Hmm.
Montana got on the remix, and even that stuff was very gritty. Like it was Chicago shit. You know what I mean? It was very like Chicago sound, very gritty, not very evolved, whatever, right? And
Yeah.
it was just the same type of shit everyone in Chicago was really making at that time, I guess, right? Um, since then he's evolved a lot, and like at first I wasn't really paying attention to Dirk, right? But like one thing I noticed, like as the years passed, he would feature on like this started when that Like Me song came out with Jeremiah in
Hmm.
like 2014. Since that song came out, like I guess that was his first like mainstream attempt, right? Like I kept seeing him featured on all these projects. Like everyone that came out, like would have a Dirk feature. Like Uzi had a Dirk feature. Freaking Little Skies had a Dirk
Oh
feature. Like
yeah, I remember
everyone,
that song.
Uzi, and that song was hard too, right? Like everyone would have Dirk features, right? And like you go back and listen to Love Songs from the Streets. I think it was the one that had Nicki on it. I was listening to that and I was like, yo, this is pretty good. And the way he uses autotune is very nice. It reminds me of like the way A Boogie and Speaker Knockers do it, but it's a little bit different the way Dirk does it versus those two, right? And a lot of these new rappers, I hear like they be biting A Boogie's autotune like presets so hard, whereas Dirk's is a lot different than A Boogie's in my opinion, right? Because A Boogie, I feel like it's the general autotune that everyone is using right now,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And Dirk be doing similar stuff, but it's different enough where I'm not gonna say he's biting A Boogie, which I give him credit for because like it seems like everyone's biting A Boogie, right? A Boogie's a very influential rapper right now, in my opinion, but we'll get into that another day. And then I listened to Just Cause Y'all Waited 2 Deluxe, and yo, that tape hit like songs like Trifling Hose, like that shit was crazy. There's so many good songs on that mixtape that I was bumping. When We Shoot was on that, right? And on top of that, he's bringing up artists from Chicago, like King Von, and King Von is a great artist in his own right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Right? And now it all just climaxed with this whole Drake feature. And he was only on that song for 45 seconds. It's a 4-minute song. He's only on it for 45 seconds. But in that 45 seconds, he delivered. He delivered a verse that was very memorable that everyone's talking about, right? And I feel like this is like just the beginning for Dirk. You know what I mean? And he already has those industry connects. Like he's been on songs with Uzi. He was supposed to be on Foreigner with Pop Smoke and A Boogie. Like he has those connects. So when he drops his next album following this Drake collab, it's gonna do numbers, I think, and it's gonna be like that real mainstream breakthrough for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he also dropped a single like on Thursday, The Voice, which is
Yeah, I
also a
thought
really
it
good
was. Oh,
song.
you thought it was really good?
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I thought it was okay, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so for me and Lil Durk. I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't hear about Lil Durk till he started having problems with Tyga, and that was
Oh, I
probably.
remember that.
I
I
think.
remember Game bodied him. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Exactly, and that was
Yeah.
what 2015.
Yeah, 2013, 2014, something like that. I don't
Yeah.
even remember. It was on the Chirac beat. I remember the diss was on Nicki's Chirac beat.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is there's not to discredit Chicago. Chicago, of course, we all know that very iconic movement from 2013 to 2016. But I think we can both agree at the end of the day, while that was a great movement and it was very influential in terms of, sales, it wasn't nothing extraordinary. I think Chief Keef had moved like 60. And of course, there's reasons for that. Of course, Chief Keef was not commercial in the slightest. You know what I mean? Neither was Reese, and neither was Durk, and neither was G Herbo. And of course, we've seen some artists from Chicago kind of come and go. Of course, Chief Keef kind of went separate ways. He moved to LA. He doesn't really make violent music like that anymore. Lil Reese, personally, I just don't think Lil Reese goes hard enough. I think he drops a lot of. I think he has a good ear for beats, but I think he does a lot of lazy verses. Of course, we saw Bibby. But Bibby, he's kind of more known for being more of an executive at this point than
he switched his whole thing. He's basically an executive at this point, And he did good with that, though, especially finding Juice WRLD.
Exactly. Kid Leroy.
He doesn't have to rap no more. Like, Juice WRLD's checks go to him, you know what I mean? R.I.P. Juice WRLD, but, yeah.
And then the two artists from Chicago that actually surprised me, and I don't want to say I don't want to say I counted them out, because I didn't count them out. I just didn't really pay too much attention to them in the beginning, and that's Herbo and Durk. You know what I mean? Of course, G Herbo, he started doing his thing. He had like PTSD, which I thought was good. Humble Beast same. A couple years ago was very good.
Yeah.
And then of course Durk. I don't think anybody saw Durk in 2015 and was like, "Damn, this guy's gonna be doing songs with Drake and
Nicki, Uzi, like." His catalog is insane. Thug, like even G Herbo, he had Welcome to Fazoland, right?
Yeah.
Like, when you heard that, you knew like G Herbo was super talented, right?
I mean, he went off on Chirac, if I can remember.
Yeah, he did. And the thing with Durk, like when I first heard Durk in like 2012, 2013, it's like, what is this guy bringing to the table that Chief Keef isn't?
Exactly, and that was the problem with all of them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was like, yeah, whatever, right? Because it's like, it's Chief Keef and Co. You know what I mean? That's how I looked at it back then. Right?
That's why, for example, with Reese, I think he's the only person to blame for his career, because he had a song with Drake and Ross.
Yeah, Us. Yeah, I remember that. That was hard. I know, and it never. That was the last time. Honestly, like, I don't really listen to Reese. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think that was the last Reese song I remember listening to, because nothing else really caught my attention after that. Right? And not to say Durk didn't really have his problems either. Like, he was with Def Jam for a bit. That didn't go right. Then he was with Interscope. Like, he's been going through labels and stuff trying to find a good situation. But I think he's finally, like, locked in.
Yeah. Now, speaking of, the business, do you think Durk should have dropped this week against 6ix9ine?
Nah, man, because Sean was dropping too. Like, the projections are out right now, actually. 6ix9ine's supposed to do 150. Sean's supposed to do 125. Durk's last album that dropped earlier this year, I believe, just because we all waited till it dropped in May, it did like 60K, I believe, right? I don't see him breaking 100 right now. It's not the time yet, And it would have just looked bad. Like, 6ix9ine would have just memed it if he dropped and he did whatever he did. You know what I mean?
Here's my thoughts on it, right? I think I keep in mind, I made this thought without thinking about Big Sean dropping, and I was just like, all right, we have 6ix9ine versus Durk, and realistically, in a sales war, obviously 6ix9ine is gonna win. 6ix9ine will sell more bundles. 6ix9ine is just the bigger artist. But I was thinking, all right, so what? Durk moved like what, 50, 60? If he goes against 6ix9ine, a little sales war, I think he could hit 100. You know what I mean?
I don't know. The thing with it, though, I get what you're saying. Like, it's good promo for both of them. Similar to the whole Kanye versus 50.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I also feel like, when Kanye beat 50, it, like, killed off, like, street rap, right? I feel like if 6ix9ine beat Durk and, 6ix9ine's gonna meme it for, like, ever.
But here's the thing. Durk is gonna drop again. And the 6ix9ine, all 6ix9ine is gonna say, "Damn, you dropped without me, and you still flopped."
Yeah.
And I'm saying the numbers are gonna be even lower than had he just dropped against 6ix9ine. You know what I mean? For example, if he dropped against 6ix9ine, I thought he would have moved 100. If he doesn't, I think he'll move like 70, maybe 80. And the thing is, I feel like that plan could have worked if Big Sean wasn't in the equation, because I feel like, all right, they could have pushed Durk versus 6ix9ine. Everybody with some moral obligation was going to try and stream Durk's music, try to ignore 6ix9ine. But when you put Big Sean in the equation, he's another very large artist that, you would have to kind of like split the love between Durk and Sean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just feel like if Durk did lose to 6ix9ine, which I mean, no shit, he would, right?
Yeah.
People wouldn't let him live it down. Like, how 6ix9ine has those fucking like comment warriors. Like his fan base is similar to Nicki's, right? Well, okay, Nicki's is on a different level, but you get what I'm saying, right? And like they'll just be in his comments no matter what he posts. Like 6ix9ine outsold you, 6ix9ine did this. You know what I mean? I don't think he'd ever be able to get past that, right? And I don't want to put a ceiling on Durk either, because it's like his Spotify plays, like it went up crazy this month because of the Drake song, right? It's he has 20 mil monthly listeners, right? Yeah. And this album, like I feel like it's very anticipated coming off of that Drake feat, coming off of 2019, 2021, he did features with everybody, and he has those features back. You know what I mean? People have to return that favor. Like he's mentioned, he has a Drake song in the vault. He's definitely gonna have an Uzi feature. He'll have those big features as well with him, right? All he needs is one solo hit, and he's over. Like he's over the bridge.
Yeah, just something commercial, and I feel like that's kind of been the issue with a lot of those Chicago rappers, is that they'll get this fan base, but they need the commercial hit to kind of blow them. For example, I don't think G Herbo's had that yet.
Yeah, he hasn't. I mean, he kind of had that one this year with Chance the Rapper, Juice WRLD, and Uzi. What was it? I think it might have been called PTSD. It might have been the title track. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah, and that was it's his only plaque, I believe. It went gold, right? But it's still not a complete crossover. But honestly, a lot of artists have had that problem. Like, even Wayne, bro. Like, until he was killing mixtapes, doing all that shit. But until Lollipop dropped, he didn't have a crossover yet. He didn't have that mainstream, like, following.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the hardest part. Like, when you're coming up in the quote-unquote streets, right? And dropping mixtapes and making music for the streets and whatever. But, like, to get to that public, you need to have that crossover single. And getting that crossover single is very hard, but I feel like G Herbo, since he has, like, I don't want to put it all on Drake, but I want to say since he has that Drake song in the vault, that might be it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like, even if he went against 6ix9ine and lost, he could have been like, pulled some I Never Back Down, and then, yeah. Because, okay, and here's the thing, we all know, obviously, this if you know anything about the business, 6ix9ine got a heap of fake views, okay? And Durk could have been like, yeah, my fake view bot wasn't working, I'm sorry, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he could always had some sort of, like, response to it.
Exactly. So I feel like he could have taken the extra album sales, had a solid response set up. I just feel like that would have turned back better instead of backing down, because it does come off as backing down because he did announce the album, and then time came and we got a single.
But did he say it was an album, though?
Yeah,
like,
no,
I just remember him saying The Voice.
He said The Voice album.
Okay. Then I guess. I don't know. I just don't want to put a ceiling on him and say, like, now he's never going to sell.
Oh, no.
Because I still feel like he can.
I don't want to put a ceiling on him either. I just think it was too early to try and, like, challenge Tekashi fake views.
Yeah. No, 100%. Speaking of 6ix9ine and Sean dropped this week.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I didn't listen to 6ix9ine. I'm that guy. Like, I don't really approve of the whole snitching thing. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, if you were in a situation, you would snitch too." Well, guess what? I'm not dumb enough to put myself in that fucking situation. I don't claim to be something I'm not. He should have known what was coming, and if he was gonna do that shit, he should have dealt with the consequences, which is 47 years in jail, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. I know you listen to it, so how do you feel about it?
Alright, so 6ix9ine's Tattletales. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a petty guy. I'll listen to the album, but allegedly those streams didn't count, if you get what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah.
Only Good Song is Locked Up too, But that's because Locked Up is already a hit song.
A
You know what I
classic
mean?
song. Classic song. Not even a hit song, a classic song.
And then on the song,
Yeah, good
Akon was
take on.
basically backing up with, what 6ix9ine saying, saying, oh, they always want to claim loyal, but they'll turn their back on you. Trying to, almost justify the whole 6ix9ine snitching thing. And I question Akon's morals for that. I'm going to be honest. I'm a big Akon fan, but when you make a song like Locked Up and go on a prison tour,
yeah.
and I'm not a street guy. You promote the song on a prison tour back in the mid 2000s, and then 15 years later, this is what you come and do. It's kind of like, yo,
facts. And I don't care if they're loyal to you or not. That shit happens in the streets. People turn on you all the time. People will fuck your baby mama. People will fucking backstab you all the time, bro. Like, that shit happens. Like, Alpo did that shit to Rich Porter. You know what I mean? But you deal with it in the streets because you're in the streets.
Exactly.
Right? And if you can't deal with it in the streets, you shouldn't have been in the streets to begin with. So that's how I feel about it. I don't know.
Personally, I feel like 6ix9ine is done.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that too, but at the same time, I didn't think he'd sell over 100K. So,
like, it's 100K of, the good stream bot,
Yeah.
And
I read it was like 60K was pre-orders, apparently. But
okay.
Units are units, end of the day.
Yeah, units are units, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and say, yo, this is fake, this is that. Like, he moved 150. He's going to move 150, apparently. So,
yeah. But the thing is, it's that, even though it, I think back in the day, album sales, of course, there were always cheats and shit, right? But album sales, you could kind of gauge the public opinion based off the sales. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I don't really feel like that's, as reliable a method anymore. Because
I think sorry.
I thought Tattletales was an awful album, and I feel like the public opinion, even just bias aside, is that this album is terrible. So I feel like this was like his one chance. It's just kind of like, remember when Meek got out of jail? If Championships was a terrible album, Meek would have been done. Over. Dream Chase is over. Drop from MMG. No, I mean, probably not that, but he would have been done. And this was 6ix9ine's chance to redeem himself with Tattletales, and he dropped the ball. So in my eyes, it's kind of over for him, especially because he had been on a streak of dropping bad songs. Like, you had Punani, which was trash. Yeah, was trash, and Trolls was trash.
That's true. I take back what I said. Like, you're probably right about him being over, but as far as sales being a good gauge, I still think it's a good gauge because dreams are incorporated into sales now, right? So everything's in there. And like, when Carter 4 came out, that shit did 964K pure, right?
Yeah.
1,000, right? But the whole world said it was mid, right? And from there, like, that was quote-unquote Wayne dropping the ball, because from there, like, I'm Not Human Being 2 didn't really sell well compared to other albums that year. It debuted at number 2, whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, this album might sell well because people are anticipating it. People are listening to this. Like, it's capped to say otherwise, because people really were like, yo, what's 6ix9ine gonna drop, right? But I agree with what you're saying. People are saying it's a bad album first. Another thing is there wasn't any real features on it.
Yeah,
Nicki was on it.
There was like Leftist, who I know for dancehall music.
There was little academics on a feature.
Yeah, little
and I feel like that takes away a lot from an album too. Like, unless you're J. Cole, but like, I feel like if you don't have features, there's no like curiosity there. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard a solo 6ix9ine song. I know what it sounds like. You know what I mean? And 6ix9ine is not really like a diverse artist where every song sounds different, right?
All right, so you brought up features, and this brings up a very interesting topic. So remember that song to Punani?
Yeah, Tory was supposed to be
exactly. So how do you think Tory's career would be had he been on Punani when the album came out?
What I thought is like Tory took it off because 6ix9ine took it off because of the whole Megan Thee Stallion thing, right? Which, well, I completely like side with Megan Thee Stallion in that whole situation, 100%. I feel like that's very like hypocritical of 6ix9ine to do because he's blackballed himself.
In my
gives
opinion,
you
it's
a feature,
like time for
and then you say, psych, never mind, and drop it, right? But another thing I heard was, I don't know how true this is, Meek Mill told Tory Lanez he wouldn't do any songs with him ever again if he gave 6ix9ine a feature. So Tory pulled it himself. That's another thing I heard. Right? I think academics might have said that. I don't know. I think academics might have said that, but I don't know which one's true. Mm-hmm. Tory's verse did leak. I didn't get to listen. I skimmed it. I didn't really get to listen to it. Yeah, academics played it.
But I think that. But I remember Tekashi. He said he had a Tory song that was cleared in 2017. So I'm like, if Punani is that old, that's a yikes.
There was was he talking about Punani? Because I saw the other album, the previous album had a Tory feature. No,
it did. But 6ix9ine said he had one in the vault.
Gotcha.
That Tory cleared, and he was asking, should I throw this on the album?
Yeah.
So I'm just there thinking maybe it wasn't Punani, and then he has even another Tory feature. But man, would Tory be done if he was on that thing with 6ix9ine?
Yeah. And going to Tory, recently one of the hip hop Instagram pages posted that his sales are down 40%.
Hot new hip hop, shout out them.
Yeah. And he DM'd the page and was like, "How my streams are still like Spotify, my Spotify player listeners is still 27 a month, right? Which is Spotify is one platform. Overall, it might be down 40%. First of all, second of all, he chooses to respond to that, make a response for that, but not respond to the Megan Thee Stallion situation. Not put a statement out on that. You get what I'm saying?
And I think that says a lot about Tory's situation and what went down that night.
Exactly. And Tory as a person, like that's zero accountability right there. You know what I mean? Like even like obviously this wasn't right either, but when Chris Brown did what he did to Rihanna, which is 100% it happened.
And it was very bad, but that was not on the same level as what Tory's did. In that, at least 6ix9ine could. I mean, at least Chris Brown could try and pull the whole self-defense thing. There was no self-defense for Tory.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, before Chris did anything musically or any statements, he put out a few months later, he put out a whole like apology thing on YouTube, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I guess Tory thinks like it'll all blow over in a couple of months and he can get back, but it's not gonna be like that. Like we're not forgetting that shit. You know what I mean?
And it's just crazy. I think one thing we can both agree on is we're going to be talking about rappers here all the time, but whenever we talk about somebody, it's with respect. But I think I don't know how I could respect someone like Tory Lanez, man. I'm gonna be honest.
No, definitely. And a lot of people are like, "Yo, wait for the situation to come out, this, that, and the third." But maybe I'm ignorant, but I can't think of a situation where Tory Lanez would have to shoot Megan Thee Stallion.
No,
especially she's unarmed as well.
Exactly. And then there's rumors that apparently Megan was walking the way and he shot her in the foot.
I don't know, man.
Gosh, Tory.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Come on, Tory.
That shit was just insane. I don't know.
Oh man, like
it's crazy.
And at least, truth be told, at least Chris Brown had like the pretty boy aspect that he could try to pull. Tory Lanez ain't got that.
Yeah, Chris, don't get me wrong, his career has never been the same since then. He's never sold the same. He has to drop 60-track albums even to go platinum, right? But he was able to salvage it to a degree because of how big he was prior to it.
Exactly,
right?
and get the loyals.
Tory's last album sold 50, 60K. Like, he's not big like that. You know what I mean? So he's not really able to salvage it like that. So.
And truth be told, whether this is no disrespect, but whether Tory likes it or not, a lot of the public eye oftentimes views Tory as third string in the six behind Drake in The Weeknd.
Yep, definitely. And honestly, people would put Nav before Tory too. So.
Oh yeah, Nav. Fourth string. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just there. He's oh yeah, he's from Toronto. You know what I mean?
Word to Toronto, so high up, I got birds in the
condo. But to get away from the whole Tory thing, another thing that happened that we touched on earlier, we didn't really get to expand. Big Sean's album, you get to listen to it?
I did, and I really, 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 really liked it. I liked the intro.
Yeah.
I thought the song with Wayne was actually alright. I thought
that actually leaked a month ago, but yeah.
Oh, that leaked?
A year ago, sorry. It leaked a year ago, 2019 summer, yeah.
Damn, I'm surprised y'all Wayne fans ain't let me in on that.
Yo, but you know what's crazy? Did you hear Meek Mill? on Dawn Life, like the little parts. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, yo,
Meek's gonna rap on
Meek.
it.
But why wasn't Meek listed as a feature though?
I don't know. Just he only did like one line, like on the chorus,
probably
getting
kind of
to
like a sicko mode type
additional
thing
vocals.
with like
Yeah,
Sway Lee.
but yo, I was like,
I was like, damn, we're
imagine
getting a
Meek
Meek
dropped a
verse.
verse on that.
Yo, yeah, Meek would have done well on that beat too.
Yeah, that beat definitely fits Meek, bro. You would have definitely like went in on that, you know?
Of course, I gotta respect what Big Sean did on that, 9-minute cipher.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of found it hard to listen to.
It was very very hard to listen to.
And Sean said it was even harder before, and he had to cut verses to make it what it is. Like Danny Brown was on it initially, and he got cut.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I like the idea behind it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a great idea. Like putting your whole city on a song like that is beautiful, right? I wish more artists would do stuff like that because, like, when you think Detroit, you think of Big Sean and like Eminem, but
maybe
like, you don't even think of Royce. You don't think of T Grizzly. You don't think of a lot of people. That
isn't Sada Baby from?
Yeah. And Cash Kid, who was on that song, is another guy that's just coming out right now. He has a lot of great punchlines and stuff like that. Very, very good artist, but you don't really hear about him. But Big Sean put everybody on the same track, which is beautiful to me. I love it. And yeah, like you said, overall, I thought it was a great album. There was a lot of songs that I liked. Let me just pull up this track list, actually. Big Sean, Detroit 2. I think it was a great follow-up to the mixtape.
Oh yeah, mixtape.
Because it was it's a remake of it's a follow-up to Detroit 1, right? But even a follow-up to I Decided, like it's a very good follow-up, especially since Double or Nothing wasn't like great. Right, hold on, I'm getting a call. Give me 1 second. But yeah, I thought the album was really good. The Nipsey feature was great. The song with Post Malone was a banger. I really enjoyed that. The little story interludes is really cool. Full Circle was another song I really liked. The one with Diddy and QA, that was great. The song with Ty Dolla $ign and Shanae Aiko was a vibe. Harder Than My Demons was a banger. It was a great album. It was just a great album. That's all I can really say.
I enjoyed Guard Your Heart.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
And for me, it was, and of course, Lithuania. But
and ZTFO too. ZTFO was great too. The one with the Travis ad-libs.
Yeah. It's almost like a sense of relief that this album was good, because for me, I thought I Decided was a very, very good album. But when we looked back at 2017, I did not see that album get the respect it deserved. You know.
Which album?
I Decided with Bounce Back and Sacrifices and No Favors. I was like,
I remember the internet was trying to cancel Big Sean for actually no, not Bounce Back. I was thinking of I Don't Fuck With You, but that was like last week as well. They were trying to cancel him for that song because the girl it was about died recently.
But he said that he wasn't talking about her.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I felt like, especially because Sean took a big gap between this album and I Decided. So the thing is, the whole gap thing is a pro and a con, right? The pro is that it's the easiest way to build anticipation, like, oh, it's been 3 years. But at the same time is that if it drops, you end up like Chance.
Yeah, exactly, and you get roasted. And another thing that could happen is, like, you take 3 years off, and when you come back in 3 years, no one gives a fuck, right?
Exactly.
That could happen as well, right? But I feel like Sean leveraged, like, I don't think like, if 6ix9ine didn't drop this week, I think it would have been good for Sean. I think he would have sold a little bit more. But I think the album sold decent, 125 first week. To compare, I Decided did 150 first week. Exactly. And it's just a solid album all around, man. Like, honestly, I think it's a top 10 album so far this year in hip hop.
Exactly. And another thing for I Decided, to defend that is that the fact that I Decided it had like some more radio-esque.
Yeah. It had Bounce Back, stuff like that. And we don't know, to be honest. Like, a lot of songs on this album might be, like, I can see Body Language being a top 40 hit. Wolves as Post Malone, so that would obviously help.
Of course, Lithuania.
Lithuania. Like, I don't know. There might be some hits on this album too.
Yeah, we'll have to see when the Billboard updates.
Exactly, but I do think this is one of Big Sean's better albums in his discography. It's a really good album. Great album, even.
Yeah. Well, just really quick, how do you look back at Dark Sky Paradise?
Let me pull up the track list real quick. That's the one that had
The song with Drake.
Blessings.
Zach,
Blessings. Yeah. Dark Sky Paradise was okay. Like it was a good album actually. Yeah, no, it had a One Man Change the World. I like that song. All Your Fault. I like. I Don't Fuck With You is cool. Play No Games is good. Yeah, I like this whole album to be honest.
All right, so or another thing I want to say is that Big Sean kind of falls into that. He doesn't fall as far down as Wale did, with all due respect to Wale, but you know he's one of those super talented rappers that should be held in higher regard. But I feel like a lot of people don't hold him in that category like they should.
He's tier 2.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know. He just well, tier 1 obviously would be Drake, Kendrick, Cole, right?
Yeah.
Like from that class. And I don't know what it is. I want to say it's because Sean is kind of like more basic. Yeah, I'd say it's because of that. Because Sean is more he doesn't really try other sounds and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And to be fair, Drake has been pretty like safe the last 3 albums, but at the same time, he's also done like songs like Controller. He's branched out to the UK sounds. Like he tries different things, and I feel like Sean doesn't really try different things like that. I feel like that really is one thing. Yeah.
Because I remember, if we go back to 2010, I thought we put the 5, you know what I mean? I thought Wale, Big Sean, Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. I thought they were all supposed to be, the crazy big thing. And Wale, he started off on a good foot. He was in the same league as those guys. When
Ambition and shit came out, yeah.
And Big Sean I don't think at any point was ever in the same lane, but he stayed consistent and he was consistently high up.
Yeah. Even if like Finally Famous had My Last on, it was a good album. Like his debut album was a very solid album. I love that album personally.
My Last one, that I'm gonna set this drink up like it's my last.
It's my last. That. Dance Ass with Nicki.
Classic song.
Yeah, there was a lot of great songs on even his debut. Marvin Gaye and Chandre, like that was on that album. Like there's a lot of good songs on his debut.
Well, since we're talking about the big 3 rapper, Drake, of course, has always been at the top. You know what I mean? Just eating, cooking, making hit after hit. I think God's Plan is Diamond.
It is.
Big record after big record. But of course, when you're at the top, just like when Wayne was at the top, when 50 was at the top, when Jay was at the top, it feels like half of the industry will wake up every morning and pray on the man's downfall. Okay?
Yeah, definitely.
And I was actually watching an Academic stream highlight. And apparently, according to Academics, because Academics actually does talk to Drake and has some, connect with Drake's team. But Academics was basically saying Drake's team has kind of acknowledged that Drake is in a tough position and he's not where he used to be anymore. And
now?
Yeah. And in their brain, they even theorize that it might be, the down point for his career now. Of course, Drake ain't going to go out quick, you know what I mean? It's going to be years and years and years. But they're saying that Drake might have climaxed, you know what I mean? How would you feel about that?
Well, okay, like 100% views was definitely his like climax, like highest point, like 1 million first week, like every song sold crazy. Like,
so you don't think he'll have another views-esque commercial success like that?
I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna do 1 million first week again. Like,
okay.
All right, but the thing with it is, like, bro, every year when Drake drops, they say, is this Drake's last chance? Is this gonna be his fall off? Like every single year since nothing was the same. Every album, every mixtape, they say the same bullshit, right? And obviously, like everyone falls eventually, but I still think Drake will have the best first week this year, especially if he's gonna do a bundle with Nike. There's no way he's falling. You know? Yeah. Like worst case scenario, like not worst case, but his end all scenario is gonna be like he's gonna be like Taylor Swift. Yeah. Right? Where whenever he drops, he's gonna sell 700-800 first week, 600, 700, 800 first week. Right? And he's not gonna be the biggest artist.
Wait, really. you think he's gonna be still moving 700-800?
I mean, bro, I think so. Like, not maybe. Okay, maybe 700-800 is a reach, but 500-600.
Yeah, I'm saying around
500-600. 500-600, I think he could do. Especially with because this album is supposedly going to be bundled with Nike bundles, right? And I don't want to see nobody complaining about that because your favorite artist bundles too.
Exactly.
And if you're going to say, oh, it's not Nike, well, bitch, your favorite artist isn't big enough to work with.
Look at Nav. Look at Nav.
Yeah, like everyone bundles, bro. Like V-Lo and like they bundle with big brands to Chinatown Market. Like, just because Drake's getting Nike, just because your favorite rapper isn't big enough, that's not his fault. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if he gets that Nike bundle, it's gonna go crazy.
Oh yeah. He'll probably be, because you know how he's been sending out that certified lover boy merch.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's the stuff he's gonna try and sell.
Yeah. It probably will be. And if that happens, bro.
Well, if that happens, we need to get bigger because Drake needs to start sending some of this stuff.
Yeah, for real, bro. Fabulous got a pack, bro.
Yeah, I'm seeing random IG models and stuff getting them. I'm like,
yeah, but no, we'll see. I mean, I still think the album will do big numbers. I don't think Drake is like reign is over, but when it is over, like I feel like everyone that did hate on it while it happened will look back and be like, "Wow, I really."
Drake was so amazing.
Yeah.
Like I feel blessed to see Drake's, Drake's rise.
Yeah.
And I'm one of these kids. I came from the early days when it was like, "Oh, you listen to Drake?" Like, ooh.
Yeah. When they were making the Degrassi memes, this, that, and the third.
Yeah. And my take on it is that I agree Drake has climax because according to the academic conversation, apparently they went number 1 with Tootsie Slide, but even Drake's team felt that was kind of a desperate attempt that they had to kind of go for that to get a number 1. You know what I mean? And then even though the demo tapes did not flop, it had a fair amount of sales. You know what I mean?
It sold like close to 900K so far. Right?
Oh, so it's almost platinum.
It's almost platinum, and you guys got to remember that was a 14 tape mixtape, and 8 out of those 14 songs were either leaked or released on SoundCloud before the mixtape came out.
And then not to mention there were throwaways,
Yeah, they're all throwaways, and the other 6 songs that were quote unquote original, there were snippets already floating
exactly.
So the whole tape was already on the internet before it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so keep that in mind.
Exactly, but according to academics, they thought, okay, it's not a real album, but they thought at least something from the tape would pop a little bit, and they didn't really get to see that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think we've seen the weird features that Drake's done, and they just haven't performed well, starting with maybe Gold Roses. Now, the thing with Gold Roses is Gold Roses was an amazing song, but that song was not built for radio at all.
Yeah. But, I mean, Life is Good still fucking went 6 times platinum. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Future's album has sold 900,000 units, and 600,000 of those units are from Life is Good.
Whoa.
Right? Because a 6 times platinum song counts as 600K units.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, he got that. Granted, that only peaked at number 2, but I still think that's very insane, right?
Yeah.
Popstar, kinda.
I thought those DJ Khaled songs were an L. I'm gonna be honest.
They just dropped a video for Popstar and it's doing really well, so I don't know, it might have a resurgence. Khaled's kind of wild for that. Like, you don't drop 2 singles and try to promote them both. That will never work.
Yeah, that was terrible. He should have saved one for the album.
Yeah, or Deadass is dropping a few months later. You know what I mean? Like, you can't push 2 singles at the same time. I don't care who you are. You can't push 2 singles at the same time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Even when Drake
dropping them exact same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even when Drake drops the 2, he makes it very clear. One is supposed to be the radio, and one is supposed to be the other thing.
Exactly. So, I mean, Laugh Now, Cry Later is doing great. Like, it peaked at number 2. I mean, even though it peaked at number 2, it only did that because WAP is such a crazy hit. Like, as far as the way Billboard singles work, it's based on points. A number 1 single usually has like 350 points, right? Drake's Laugh Now Cry Later had like over 550 points, right? And it's just crazy because WAP had even more than that. You know what I mean? So it's 2 super successful singles at the same time. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's the unlucky situation, but I still think Laugh Now Cry Later is doing amazing. Right? So, yeah.
It's just like, and to an extent, it's like you also got to gauge something you have to look at it for what it is. More Life, More Life didn't do crazy sales, but Drake did everything, even before at least to try to explain to you that this is not an album, it's a playlist.
It's a mixtape,
I mean?
Exactly. Whatever he wants to call it,
Yeah, but then, okay, even for Scorpion, I think Scorpion did what, 750?
732, yeah.
732, not bad, but I think even Scorpion, I felt like the idea from that, and, the idea from that was, I'm just going to put a heap out of songs, hopefully maybe like 5 pop in the club. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And they did, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like he got the hits. I mean, thing went diamond, right? God's plan went diamond. So.
Exactly. And Drake, even in his little, I think it was like the Rap Radar interview, the one he uploaded on his YouTube channel around December. He even said, I'm pretty sure he even said, yeah, like you can't forget Scorpion because of all the undeniable records that were on it.
Yeah, exactly. In My Feelings was huge. Like the whole album was pretty big, man.
What, nonstop?
Yeah, there was another one, Nice for What? Like exactly. It was crazy, bro. Yeah.
It had a lot of hits.
But yeah, everyone's gonna pray for Drake's downfall, but I don't think it's gonna happen with this album at least.
And here's the thing, in terms of the whole Kendrick Cole versus Drake thing and all of that, obviously Kendrick and Cole, amazing MCs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the reason that I place Drake above them is the fact that Drake does what he does just so much. Non-stop. Drake always in your ear for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And people try to undervalue, like, appealing to the general public. But, like, no. It's a lot more impressive to appeal to the general public than hip-hop Twitter. So.
Exactly. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? If it was so easy to appeal to the general public, you don't think Denzel Curry would be moving 300, 400K?
Yeah, exactly. Because what did Kendrick say? If y'all really cared about real rap, Killer Mike would be platinum.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the exact quote, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like, for example, Cole. I don't think Cole. I think we could both agree. You know, I think as of 2019, I think Ross had more Hot 100 entries than J. Cole.
Yeah, Cole doesn't really have like Hot 100 entries. Like he goes platinum every album though.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't think Cole's ever really been a single artist, has he?
No.
Maybe Born Sinner era, but I don't know.
But I just feel like that just kind of puts things into perspective. It's like I respect what Cole does. Cole is very talented, but the skill to where Drake can constantly just shove himself in your ear, and it's good. And you want to hear what he puts out for 10 years so far. And keep in mind, there's still going to be a couple more years of Drake run. You know what I mean? It's like Kendrick is an amazing artist, but Kendrick does not drop as much as Drake does.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing too with Drake, which is crazy, is his stand. It's like LeBron. Like the standards are so high.
I know,
like,
right?
If the song doesn't go number one, it's a flop. If it's Drake, you know what I mean? Drake only has like maybe 10 number ones his whole career. Not even 10. Like Sicko Mode, Work with Rihanna, like God's Plan. Like he doesn't have that.
Think about it. Best I Ever Had was a 2, and that was probably you could argue that's Drake's most iconic song.
Forever was a 5.
Exactly. And think about look at the lineup. It even had Eminem.
Yeah, like
so Drake
number
has
one
7.
isn't that easy. Like I don't know why people expect this guy to go number one every single drop.
Especially when you have to compete with the payola pop artists.
Yeah, but like I don't think it's like reasonable to expect any artist to go number one every single time because Drake has never went number one every single time. Even Nonstop went number 2.
So exactly. Drake has 7 number 1 hits with God's Plan, of course, Work, One Dance. I'm scrolling down right now, see if I can find the other.
What's My Name? Probably.
Nice for What?
Yeah.
Man, I'm scrolling.
Even Hotline Bling, I think only went number 2.
Yeah.
Hotline only went number 2. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't. It's out of a career of maybe like 60 plus singles, maybe 70 plus singles. He only has like 7 number 1s, and you guys expect him to go number 1 every single time? Like, that's unrealistic as fuck.
Exactly. And with the whole DJ Khaled and pop star, the DJ Khaled songs, a lot of people theorize this. Obviously, I don't know the exact business deal that went down, but a lot of people say, this was Drake trying to experiment. He gave the songs to Khaled to release because if Khaled, releases them and they flop, he could be like, look, that's DJ Khaled stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know the truth, but what I heard is like he was supposed to get Popstar and then Grease just leaked, so they gave him Grease as well. But that's another thing too. Drake's been having a ton of leaks lately. But...
Exactly. But I think, though, I will say Drake is. I feel like Oprah's bank account not doing well commercially will go down as like the biggest. Like what happened in history, you know what I mean?
Nah, but I think even more what the fuck one was like in 2015, Mike Will dropped a song featuring Future, Wayne, and Kendrick, and like no one in the world has heard the song.
Oh,
sorry, give me one. Sorry, my bad. But like, that song like nobody knows about. Yeah. But yeah, another day, another group of people that flop.
Yeah, man. It's just like, but I will say though, the fact that Oprah's bank account didn't even make top 40 is like concerning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
feel like
I think it went 38.
I'm on the hot 100 now. It says peak position 55.
Oh damn, that's even worse. That's crazy.
Not
J.
even
Cole's
top
Snow by the
40?
Bluff was like 51 or some shit. So.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
but though I feel like there has to be some outside factors of what affected that song. You know, maybe some.
I think it dropped in midweek. But even still, I think
Yeah.
it should have done better. But
Come on, Drake, DaBaby, and Yachty.
yeah.
And this was DaBaby coming off hot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
I can't give a reason though. I feel like it'll just kind of go down as one of the biggest mysteries of why did this song just flop so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say Quarantine, but Rockstar did well. So
Yeah. I don't know.
People calling up my phone like I'm locked up nonstop. So yeah. So you think Drake's gonna drop the album before the end of 2020?
Before October 8th.
Okay. Why?
Because that's when bundles stop counting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You gotta get that Nike stuff out.
Yeah. But yeah, he's gonna drop. It's gonna sell great. Everyone's gonna say, "Well, the album wasn't good," and then the whole cycle repeats again.
Though, and then it's just I feel so. If we go back to 2010, I just remember it was actually a really exciting time because we were just seeing a heap of new artists that would end up. We were being introduced to new artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would end up doing great things. The Wiz, the Drake, the Kendrick. You know, all of these people, and it's just I feel like we're in that time again, to be honest.
And it feels a bit different right now though, because a lot of the artists that we were introduced to were artists that were signed to our favorite artists. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right? Like Drake came under Wayne, Sean came under Kanye, Ross came under. I mean, Meek and Wale came under Ross. Like even Wiz, like I heard of because of Currency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like these artists that like they have their own like following. They built it from the ground up. Whatever. And it's really interesting.
Yeah. Though, why are these artist-run labels so terrible nowadays?
I don't think anybody needs a label, especially something run by an artist, because a lot of these artists, they know
it's
how
probably
to make
just
hits,
terrible
but they
splits.
Can't. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you know, I'm just really excited to like view how the Rod Waves and the DaBabies and the Roddy Riches and you know the Kid Leroy's and all of those guys kind of turn out in the next few years.
Yeah. And I'm sure they'll be talked about in following episodes here.
Oh, yeah. So I think that just about wraps it up. If you made it this far, you know what I mean? You better give us, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, save us on Spotify. Show us some love. Hit the like button. Do all of that. And with that, it's been your boy TStomp. I'm out here with
Martian. We'll be back next week.
Oh, yeah. No problem. All right. Peace out, fellas.